It's a new day here, and we're going in with full motivation again, because the car just needs to be fixed. It's impressive to break a car with just one launch control. Even Andy, yes, even Andy doesn't know for a moment. Just from the footage, look through the camera, it's of course very hard to judge where such a sound is coming from.
No, but that man is so experienced we can do it with just one strong launch control, something new to him. I think I've played this video about 1,000 times. Yesterday just to figure out what it is.
It really sounds like guitar playing, as if something metallic is sliding along a bolt at the engine's revolutions per minute. So, to dig a bit deeper into Andy's tip, in other words, to check the timing, we're going to remove the chain tensioner. I grabbed the old chain tensioner that used to be in our engine. This lets me compare our current chain tensioner, and we have a spare. Those are pretty expensive, over 100 euros each, and they're a key engine part. Today, here's what we'll do. Distribution, take it apart again, take everything out. Because the chain is super tight, there's almost no slack on it. Of course, it's not a bicycle chain, it needs much more movement. But hey, this is so ridiculously tight that you think, well, something must be wrong or something.
It could even be, that might be the case, yeah, but otherwise we would have found the chain tensioner, that a part of the metal from that chain tensioner would end up on the chain, you know, something like that. That's just how it sounds, but it could be that with a launch control you make such loud bangs that something shifts, right? Yeah.
I personally think that the chain tensioner might have jumped out by 2 notches, or however many notches. So yeah, we're actually going to lock the chain tensioner in its current position. That way we can just disassemble it. If all goes well, we should be able to read the chain tensioner's position history. If it suddenly jumped much further out, we can see, okay, that's where our problem will be. But anyway, we're not going to celebrate too soon. We're just going in the direction that Andy pointed out to us. Look near the distribution, and actually everyone is directing towards the distribution. So yeah, because we didn't find anything strange at the bottom of the oil pan, and
they also say that it can't be something very serious. It doesn't sound like something very serious. Like a tilting piston or a valve, because, yeah, it doesn't sound like that, you know. So they've kind of reassured us. Maybe we can fix this today. So,
yeah, slept well. Going in with full courage.
Done, and we're just gonna solve this. Let's go auto.
In the air, come on, I
just walked in here, so yeah.
But we're just diagnosing. Our minds are just focused on this. So yeah, you just have things like that. Alright, thanks bro. I've actually already secured the chain tensioner with a nail. You put it through, and with that, you basically lock it in place. So the pin doesn't shoot out further, since the spring puts it under pressure. And now I'm just going to remove the chain tensioner, and then I'll check if it still works properly, and if the chain actually gets a bit more slack. The dramatic sound from the tensioner is gone, and the first thing we notice is I'll grab a flashlight, but then you can see that maybe the tensioner, or if it's clear to see, but you can see a dark spot, and you can also see a green spot. And if you look closely, exactly where it goes in, you mean? Yes. Do you see that it might have actually jumped one tooth too far? And that could indicate that maybe the chain was way too tight. Because now we actually have chain slack, right? We can move the chain a bit more now. Yes, definitely. Makes sense, of course, because we don't have a tensioner, but maybe the chain got that way because of the launch control.
Tensioner, or?
The tensioner clicks outward.
That maybe there was so much force on the timing belt because of that it made such a noise. I'm going to return the chain tensioner to its original position or all the way in as it is when delivered. I'm going to reinstall it and release it again by pulling out the pin, and then see if the timing belt is a bit looser again. What's its position among the notches? First, I'll remove that pin. There we go. If all goes well, it will fully open. This sounds good. The notches still look fine, and if all goes well, it shouldn't go inside now. As you can see, it blocks and moves back and forth, which is good news. The tensioner actually still works properly, as long as the tensioner keeps blocking like it does now. That means the tensioner's tooth is damaged, or possibly a spring or something similar inside. Well, that tooth, that's what holds it back. So from now on, it actually can't go back in anymore. only out to a certain point, so I'm going to return the tensioner to its original position. I'll push it in, put the pin back, and reinstall it to see if that releases the timing belt tension. Okay, with a flashlight in hand, I'm going to show you that I've reinstalled the chain tensioner. Now I'm going to pull out the pin to see what kind of tension the chain will get. After this, the chain tensioner is right here, as you can see. If I pull this out, you'll hear it click. It's snapped, which means it has now put the chain under tension. Most people go even further. With the thread, they give it one more click and then say, okay, now it's properly installed. So now I'm going to check how the tension is on the chain. If it's still pretty loose now, like just before, then I'll give it one more click. Otherwise, it will also be pushed out by oil pressure, so I'm curious how loose the chain is now. Super weird. The tensioner is back. We turned the engine over twice. And now it's just completely out of timing. The mark that should have been there is actually one tooth off, and this one is just perfectly straight. And here the ones that are normally opposite each other are no longer opposite each other either. So the engine is now officially out of timing. That's not good, since the whole timing system must be disassembled to fix it. It's more work than we hoped, and we're still unsure if this is the source of the problem. There's only one way out. That's to set the timing system correctly again, and then reassemble the engine to see if the noise really did come from the timing system. It was too tight, possibly due to the tensioner. We still need to figure that out. Yeah, the thing is, we're kind of stuck with our timing chain, which needs to be set at the right time. We've taken everything apart, from the gears to the chain position, chain tensioner, everything is off, so we're basically starting from scratch. But we still remember what a struggle it was when we put the chain on last time, when the engine was already out. Now the engine is in, with half the timing cover still attached. So yeah, we're running into a few issues trying to get the timing just right, and yeah, that's super important, of course. So yeah, give us some time to figure this out. Once we've finished this, we'll get back to you. But it's a bit tough since it's in the car. Yeah, you can just stand weirdly in the chain like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Well, guys, the distribution is done again. Now let's remove all those gasket residues, then we can seal the crankcase ourselves, and then we can reassemble it. This can dry for a while, and when we're done upstairs, we can pour oil in it. And then we'll go for a new start attempt. And hopefully we've tackled something that was really making the timing chain too tight. I'm not sure, but the timing is reset and the timing chain is properly tensioned. So we have a good starting point. And if not, something else is going on and we'll need more diagnostics. The oil pan that's underneath, it's had some time to dry. Daniel is just securing the cover of the chain tensioner. Of course, with a new liquid gasket in between. So we're actually almost ready to lower the car, then pour in the oil. So we also thought that without oil, it didn't make that noise. Still a strange ticking sound, yeah. So we're going to put in new oil with a new oil filter, let the car run briefly to restore oil pressure. And then, if that's all good, we actually want to quickly measure the compression in the cylinders, just to make sure there's no bent valve actually. A bent valve means poor compression, which confirms the valve is bent. Yeah, or something in the piston rings or whatever. Yeah, exactly, but usually when you use launch control, the valve just breaks. So yeah, in that case, that's what we're assuming. At least we know which cylinder to use. Daniel is nearly done securing it. Lower the car, add the oil, then let it run for a while. It's your turn now, Don.
The spark plugs aren't in yet. It's just contrary.
On cylinders 1 and 2, I can clearly see fuel for you, but not on 3 and 4. No, but I still don't have oil pressure since the light is on, so I need to pump more. Great. We're going to measure the compression now. We managed to get a compression gauge, so we're going to attach it now. We've borrowed this thing so many times, but never bought one. But that's just how we are here. The neighbors also regularly come to borrow things from us, the things that we have, and then we borrow their compression gauge. There.
Here we go, compression cylinder number 1.
6 comma, how much? 150 pounds per square inch, cylinder 2. 160 pounds per square inch, cylinder 36, comma. 145 pounds per square inch, cylinder number 46, comma 155 pounds per square inch. Yes, it's still exciting. I held my breath for a moment, but at least there aren't a lot of fluctuations in it. So this is still manageable. 145 and 160, somewhere in between. 150, 155.
It's only alarming if it's a major deviation.
Yeah, I agree. If it dips deep into the red or really high, but this is just everything averaging out well. Now the
Spark plugs back in. Start the car. Now that we've ruled this out and the compression is good, there's only one thing left. How does the engine sound after reinstalling the spark plugs?
put back in the same way they were taken out. The coils were put back in the same way they were taken out.
Well, I can tell the tension is high even for him. I can hear it in his breathing. Yeah, what do you think?
You think that is? The engine timing was correct. We only noticed the timing belt was too tight. After removing the chain tensioner, the timing shifted and we had to reset it entirely. Now that we've heard this, earlier when we started we heard that sound, right? Now I don't hear it, you hope.
Of course.
That is solved, but in fact we haven't really fixed how we feel. We haven't done anything. No, so yeah, the chain tension is less now. We're just waiting.
Do you know how you can tell when something's broken? We haven't figured that out yet. Who brings?
More luck, you or me.
Don, I...
Have to start, you want to start.
And let's get started. In short, yes, we've actually checked everything. We also briefly disconnected the coils while running to check if there might be a spark issue or something like that. No, the car reacts normally to that. It runs well. The only issue is the sound. So together with the neighbor, and he has these headphones with a little probe on them, that way you can really listen to where it's coming from. And it really seems to be coming from the bottom of the oil pan, so that could indicate connecting rod, bearings, big end, I don't know. So, are we reopening the oil pan now to drain the oil and find the source? We still need to find the source and the noise hasn't improved. If a connecting rod bearing is broken, you should run it as little as possible. Because, yeah, it's just gonna break, and you should be able to see the metal shavings, right?
So yeah, the expectation is maybe a bent connecting rod bearing after all, so let's not waste too much time. Don, let's open everything underneath again.
Yes.
Alright, let's get out quickly. Are we opening this one more time? We'll drain the oil off camera to keep things moving. And then we'll come back later with the results or our findings of what we've seen. Alright, the oil pan is off. To rule things out, we're going to do a connecting rod bearing check now. Of which we might think, hey, that one has more play than the other. Everything is still burning hot. Yeah, nice.
Man.
Still looks pretty good too.
Yeah, 200,000 on it and then a turbo, that's how it goes.
Engine is more apart than we ever hoped. Guys, here it is. All the connecting rods are visible, so we've also been checking the connecting rod bearings. Well, they don't look too bad, but we do see a few scratches. But I think that's to be expected. With 200,000, which is already on it, I think at least 200,000, so what do we do now?
We loosened the connecting rods, but that didn't fix the problem. I don't know.
Can a bent connecting rod bend in different ways?
We have no idea, so it's on hold. We spent 2 days searching, reassembled it, then took it apart again. We really don't know. That's a lesson for everyone. I'll end this episode here, though not as we'd hoped. Subscribe and like if you're as curious as we are about the solution. See you soon. Ciao.